So, hello everyone, this is Sarthak, and once again, we have an amazing personality today with us, Mr. Kartik Sharma. And as you know, Mr. Kartik Sharma has expert in AI. He's a serial entrepreneur plus angel investor. So, hello, Mr. Kartik, how are you?
Hi, Sarthak. Happy to be here talking about
Thank
AI.
you so much, Mr. Kartik. And I have done a lot of research about you that you are actually solving the real life problems through AI, and you are actually teaching we humans that how we can implement the AI into our like have a practical application about AI. That's really nice. So, coming to the main topic of today's podcast, which is very easy to understand, but it's a very complex topic, that is how the AI is impacting the education industry, how it is changing the education industry, how it is changing the students' mindset. So you need to answer these questions so that we can able to understand and we can able to learn from your experience and expertise.
Absolutely, and I think education has got multiple levels, as you understand. So there is pre-primary, primary education, then there is higher education, and then there is vocational education. I'm happy to address all the three verticals within the education, if you would like. From
Absolutely.
formal education perspective, let's say like K to 12.
Mhm.
What I'm seeing in terms of the work I have done and across the ecosystem I am aware of. So education is largely impacted in K to 12 in two ways. One is AI as a skill, wherein as you or the audience may or may not have heard, like CBSE and ICSE curriculum, they have AI as a skill subject from
Right.
grade 6 onwards up to grade 12. So one is the opportunity of, the academic boards have realized the importance of AI, and students now in K to 12 have access to a proper subject, which, the marks get counted in your best of five and all that. So it's a proper serious subject as AI. So in that sense, it's truly revolutionized the education ecosystem because, and in fact, you'd be amazed to know India is one of the few countries in the world where AI is taught at school level as a formal subject. At undergrad
Right.
level, yeah, in many countries it's taught, but only in India you see at school level, as young as age 12, AI is introduced as a subject. So that's one. The second angle is AI being used as a technology in better, implementation of pedagogy, curriculum development, student engagement. Therein also, I'm seeing a lot of use of AI. So many of
Hmm.
us think of AI limited to use cases like ChatGPT and applications built on top of LLMs. But on the ground level, if you see a lot of educational institutions, even academic boards, are trying to see how schools can actually use AI and leverage AI as a technology
Right.
to truly personalize learning for everyone, and also to make content. Typically, what happens when I studied 20 years back, there was the same content which was taught to everybody, and you have to consume it at a certain pace, frequency, irrespective of your
Hmm.
learning style.
Right.
But now, with using technologies like adaptive learning, machine learning, I can actually create agents or models wherein students can truly learn in a way which they feel is best suited to their needs, and they can learn at a pace they are comfortable with. So I think that's the school level. In higher education, for last few years, AI has been used as a enabler, from the perspective of many institutions have started BTech, MTech programs in AI. So it's a mainstream subject in higher education. Not so much
Uh,
implementation of AI. Yeah.
I have a concern that you have mentioned that from K to 12 they are teaching AI. That's totally appreciable that they are teaching. But are they just in the books? What kind of practical application do we have when it comes to K to 12? Are they making some small bots or something?
Yeah, so I've also apparently written books for class 6 to 12 for CBSE curriculum, so I can answer that very categorically. So in class 6 up till class 8, it's a short program which is more around awareness of AI and getting people excited about AI. In class ninth and 10th, there are small applications and practical work. Almost 50% of the weightage of marks is to practical work in Python. So you learn libraries like Matplotlib, algorithms like OpenCV, NLTK, Pandas, NumPy, those kind of things. And in class 11th and 12th, there is proper capstone projects which you have to done. So problems are thrown at you. You have to create projects, work in team. There is a AI project lifecycle which is taught. You have to create a logbook where you log your data, you clean that data, you do iteration, you have to report the evaluation score, accuracy, precision of your models. I mean, the entire 9 yards. So to your point, it's not just theoretical. It's actually
That's
pretty exhaustive.
that's really nice because what I've observed that whatever the things that you are telling is currently there in a like what we say we do in BTech, but from class 10th or 12th or what we say K to 12 curriculum, they are actually learning the basics so that they can eventually advance themselves whenever they're in college.
Absolutely. So I'm very proud of the fact that India has taken a lead. In fact, when it was launched, I think 2018 was when AI was launched as a subject in India in school level. And at that point in time, we were the only country in the world which was teaching AI as early as class 12. And the vision of many academic boards is to start teaching AI from class 1 onwards. So that's going to be truly revolutionary.
Hmm, that's great. But Kartik, my next concern is that I'm literally fed up seeing that the students are misusing this AI in a very unethical way. Very, very unethical way. Yeah, there is always a pros or cons of any technology, but what do you think that how we can stop it? Because we should also introduce something new so that we can stop these unethical practices.
So there are many connotations of unethical practices. One is many students use tools like ChatGPT for purposes other than educational purposes intended. In that case, what I have seen, and we have also worked with a lot of education ecosystem players, publishers, schools, content providers, wherein we have created something called as a custom RAG. So RAG is the retrieval augmented generation model. In layman terms, what it means is that so you have a chat GPT in which you can search and talk about anything and everything in the world. There is no restriction. But in RAG, what happens is you can actually train a GPT on your custom data set, on your custom knowledge base. So in that sense, let's say if I'm a school, I can create my own GPT, chat GPT, which will be similar in terms of functioning, response, latency, and capability like a chat GPT, but it is restricted to academic purposes. And I can put even guardrail frameworks in it, so it doesn't. It handles inappropriate questions or topics which are out of bound or scope in a more mature way, or in a way I want it to be handled as a school. So those
Right.
capabilities are there now. That's one. Second is which you may be referring to is problems of, let's say, deep fakes, for example. In
Hmm.
that, there is limited which a school can or an academic board can do, because tools for creating deep fakes or misuse of AI are pretty much available to everyone at their disposal on the internet. So I think that requires a much broader and a comprehensive effort from a regulatory perspective and at a policy level, which METI and other departments in government are doing. But I think as an education industry, I don't think a big role can be played. But I think this custom RAG model is something which everybody can just start, and every school can, let's say, have their own GPT, and they can say that students, you can use GPT for any purpose, but it's academic. Anything out of bound is ring fenced, and we have those guardrails in place to avoid any misuse other than academic purposes.
That's great. That's great. That's really nice perspective, first of all. So, coming to the next question that I want to ask you, and even that's a generalized question from audience also. that what are the problems you actually see in the education industry out of your experience. Like there are always a gray areas that we students or sometimes we industrialists can't able to see, but being experienced person sometimes you feel like yeah, this should be improved. This is the thing that is actually lagging in the industry.
See, broadly, the problem set in any industry and even education from that perspective is three. One is excess, second is quality at scale, and third is relevance. So, if I go in chronological order, so excess, I think in many ways is solved. So, whether it's about the gross enrollment ratio, I mean, the usual metrics, or in general, if today anybody in even a tier 2 tier 3 town wants to access good quality or world class level of content, I think that's available.
Exactly.
So in many ways it's democratized. So I think access infra issues to an extent are solved, but it's the I would say last 10-12 percentile which needs to be still fixed, which again requires a higher level effort at the infra level. Second, coming to quality, I feel that quality in pockets is available, but quality at scale is not available. And I think that's where technologies like AI can come in, because AI can actually create quality personalization at scale. So think of it like you want to have a one-to-one tuition or one-to-one interaction with a quality educator. Not a lot of people can afford it. But how do you scale this person? This person can only take n number of sessions or classes, right? But with AI, you can, do things like create their digital twins, avatars, or even with mixed reality and holograms. You can actually create that experience of one-to-one personalized education, mentorship, and coaching at scale, which I feel is truly revolutionary. And coming to the third point, which is relevant, I think that's something which is very important, because the real purpose of education is a obviously to make people like good citizens, responsible citizens, productive citizens of a nation. And second also is that they should be engaged in a meaningful livelihood. I mean, that's the
Right.
other agenda of education and skilling. And I think that's where a lot of work needs to be done. And it's going to be very challenging because with AI, every week, every month, new things are coming up. It's very hard for the education system to catch up. Traditionally, education system has been a
Yeah.
lagging or trailing at the trailing end of trends, right? Because I mean, social media uh, managers or SEO or content creators were already in the market, and then courses were created for them. Similarly, for AI, you already had people working as AI engineers, and then BTech in AI started as a trailing or a lagging indicator. And I think now within AI also, earlier you had just AI, now you have generative AI, now there is embodied AI, now there is quantum mechanics. So like so much is happening at such a rapid pace that it is also very unfair of us to expect the education system to just catch up very quickly with all these new skills, new job roles, because they also need to almost always have a consultation with the industry, create curriculum which is well researched, well thought of. And I think to put that level of agility into education industry at scale while being inclusive is a major problem area. But I think it's a hard problem to solve. So I think we can take or make peace with the fact that first two, quality at scale and access, are in a way sorted and close to optimization. But the third
Absolutely.
one, I think is going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, because what I actually observed that the education industry is revolving like this, but the industry is moving like this. So how you are going to meet the industry demands? So we need
Absolutely.
something
And
that
that's
can
why, one of the things I have seen work is that so many times what happens is the industry and business folks, they do not typically wait for the education industry to
Hmm.
take action. right?
Right.
So what you see large IT firms or tech firms, they set up their own learning and development centers. They set up their own curriculum. They train people, and they use education ecosystem or channelize them to the best of their uh, advantage. I mean, it's been happening since like Rockefeller times in US also, right? Education industry in many ways gets managed by the industry because they need outcomes fast, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Like, good thing is because you need somebody to really put that enthusiasm and energy in education industry, which is traditionally a bit lethargic and slow to move. But second is you might end up creating biases in the curriculum, right? I mean, if let's say I am IBM and I have a AI product called Watson, and if I am going to define the curriculum on AI, I would in some way want Watson to be used as a preferred operating model, right? Similarly for Microsoft or any other tech company, right?
Right.
It's inherently there is a conflict of interest or convergence of interest from their perspective that if they have a certain technology already in place and they need people trained in those, and if they start to get involved in curriculum development and supporting the education ecosystem, I think therein at scale lies that risk that you might be creating those biases without even realizing. And some of these big tech companies are also very prompt and supportive in terms of giving free grants, or they might have end up doing some of these things as part of their CSR. But what people don't realize is that you end up creating that inherent structural bias in the education industry because you are aligned to a certain technology provider or a certain employer, which started off with a good intent, but you do not realize along the way when the path sort of got merged in business and non-business interests and initiatives.
Right. So thanks for the insight. Well, do you want to add any other point that actually can add insights to our potential audience?
See, I say this to everyone. I mean, I on a weekly basis, I meet hundreds of students, and I'm part of various organizations wherein skilling is talked about in a much hyped manner in light of AI. And I always tell people that, and I also, by the way, work with a lot of corporates wherein I see or I myself undertake AI programs or AI interventions in corporate L&D. And in both the environments, I see three categories of people. And I want to share a message for all of them. One is a category of people who feel that AI is something which is only for tech people and they do not need to care about it and they are insulated from it because what they do is something which only they can do because of the nature of their work or what they have been doing over the years or their tacit knowledge. But they are unaware of the fact that the scale and speed at which AI is now operating and will operate soon, there'll be very few jobs that would not get significantly impacted by AI. So my message for this category of people would be to be sort of like get a wake up call and start to see the wave of AI more seriously and not sit and watch it pass by and feel that when you're sitting on a beach and you see how waves are a bit far, I'm sitting on my beach and suddenly high tide comes and you are um, caught in middle of a high wave. So similar situation might happen to some of these people. So that's my message to this category of people. Second category of people which I meet and I see is people who are extremely panicked or anxious or overwhelmed that AI is coming, I don't know what will happen, will I have a job or not, or there are so many AI tools, what should I do, what should I in fact I wrote a article in TOI day before on AI everywhere, not a single AI to scale, which talks about this fact that there's so much of plethora of information And the second category of people are just lost in this maze of AI and just getting overwhelmed and anxious. So to them, my message is that prepare, don't panic. So do not think about that AI will uproot your life. I mean, you're better off than category one people. You're actually thinking about AI seriously, but uh, don't get overwhelmed with whatever is happening. Pick and choose what's relevant to you and start in a little bit smaller way and try to implement AI in your life in small bits and pieces. In whatever you do, start using AI rather than, like a lot of people ask me that, okay, what should I learn? Where should I learn? Which course should I sign up? Which university is offering a exact program? Or where should I take admission? Is there an online tool? So to them, I always say that you can use AI to learn AI as well. Now there are a lot of free tools available. You don't need to sign up for a certificate program or pay a educational institution hefty fees to learn AI. A lot of free tools available wherein you can learn AI. Use that. So that's the second category of people. Third category of people are people who have realized that AI is important for them and they want to do something in AI, but they are not technical. And they feel that because they are not technical, even though their intent is there, but they will miss out on this revolution. To them, my message is that through your medium is that um, you do not need to be super technical. I mean, the whole point of AI is that it democratizes technology. Like anybody and everybody can use. When I was studying in IIT 20 odd years back, a lot of people from IIM and other management institutions would come to our college for literally like dating that, hey, I want a tech co-founder. I am a great management guy. I have got a great idea. I have got a distribution sorted. But, I'm not technical. So I need a tech co-founder. And many ideas I would see over the years get killed because they couldn't get a good tech co-founder. Like the tech co-founder thought, I'll do it myself. Why do I need this guy? The typical conversation. And I saw a lot of great ideas got killed. But I think now with whatever AI offers, even if you're a non-tech person, there are a lot of no-code, low-code tools and frameworks available which you can use. And anybody today can, do or implement any business idea they have. So I think you need a higher degree of excuse today to say that, hey, I'm not able to do what I want to do because I mean, you give me an idea and I'll prove you that you can do it without like solid technology. You can implement it. I mean, that's the power of AI, right? I mean, we spent all our time during IIT and even later studying the language of computers to use computers and prepare software. But now with AI, you do not need to learn any syntax or any coding language, right? You can use natural conversation as an interface or things like, Copilot to actually have computer do coding for you. And you do not need to learn their language. They will learn your language. And I think that's a fundamental shift which many people miss out on. That now you do not need to be, you need to be tech savvy, but you do not need to be like a coder to pull off something magical thanks to AI. So that's my message to you, Sarthak.
And that is what I have realized, that there is a significant rise for the jobs of the CTOs nowadays, particularly in startups, because they are looking for both skills. First of all, is technical. Second one is the management or the business skill, which is required, really required.
Absolutely. And now I also see, and I mean, you can also research a lot of companies in the valley in Japan. There are single person companies and they have reached valuations of $1 billion. Like now there is something called as multi-agent network. I mean, I can set up a company, I can have a HR agent do HR work, marketing agent do marketing work, finance agent do finance work. And I can be a single person in my one bedroom apartment just running a whole business with a bunch of AI agents orchestrated and working as per my need. I do not need to have an army of people. I mean, gone are the days. I remember when I was younger, maybe your age, that I mean, people used to judge a company by the number of employees they have. People would say, "Oh, I have a 1,000 member company. I have a 2,000." Now, more number of people in a company is a sign of inefficiency. I mean, with things like Instagram, WhatsApp, you have a 30, 40 member company scaling up a valuation of 10, $12 billion. Right? So today, if you say I have 10,000 people in the company, the first reaction, at least in more mature economies, is that, oh, so you are running an inefficient operation. Why you need so many people? So I think that is a seismic change in terms of the view the society looks at you as an entrepreneur, that what outcomes are you producing are more important than infrastructure, number of people, where your office is. I mean, people in their apartments are building $500 million companies. Like they don't have any office, everybody's remote. They have a small bunch of smart people shipping out great products. Nobody cares. So I think it's a great time to be alive and building things. I feel.
So that's a great insight, Mr. Sharma. That's actually like I'm feeling like I should sell my office now, come into these technologies. Because that is the first time I'm hearing that a single founder is running the company. That's a solopreneur. But that's again an insight key AI is quick to have to उसको कर दिया. That's really nice. And any other thing do you want to add? We would really appreciate that.
No, I think as I said that uh, I mean any idea or any initiative you want to take up, I think it's now is a great time because you are not dependent on any resource constraints, or you do not need enough capital as well. You can just get started. I mean the opportunities are endless, and now there is a like a tool or a framework for anything. Like I mean, most recently I was wanting to build like a conversational toy for kids. And back in the day, if you have to develop a toy, I mean, it was super complicated, right? I mean, you have to do speech synthesis, text to speech, LLM, whatnot. But now you've got such great, AI infrastructural layers available. For example, we work with Grok, LPU. They give you language processing units. It's so easy to scale up, build your own custom model, train it. I mean, it took us 6 months to build a truly conversational AI toy which a child can use. I mean, if we were talking maybe 5, 6 years back, it would have taken me maybe 2 years to build this, and a much more intensive capital base to even think of building such a smart AI conversational toy which can engage a child and be like a AI nanny of sorts for kids. But now it just took me 6 months and few $1,000s, not more. So I feel that having experienced firsthand, I feel that there is an extreme statistically significant reduction in time to build and cost to build anything which you can think of. Now, I mean, what to build, you can also prompt in ChatGPT and ask, what should I build? What problem should I solve? So I think it's about uh, wanting to sort of wake up and do something. I think that motivation is needed. Otherwise, motivation onwards, I think everything is sorted now. You don't even need to think of a great idea. I mean, you can prompt a great idea and figure out what to build and just get started.
That's like that's why there is a significant demand of increase of the prompt engineer nowadays.
Yeah, and that will also go off in a year because now there are new
Okay.
technologies that are coming up, which is like auto prompting. So prompt the prompt. So you can say, okay, prompt me a prompt. I don't want to even think. So that's gonna happen
It's a great
very
thing,
soon.
by the way. I really need this tool because I was even looking for prompt engineer, but they're quite costly nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, but very soon you would not need um, prompt engineer.
I'm the first person to buy that product. Okay, that's great, Mr. Sharma. Thanks for sharing the insight. बहुत अच्छा लगा आपका पॉडकास्ट में आया and the audience are really इस the podcast को जब भी कोई सुनेगा definitely they are going to learn a lot of things, especially about the auto prompting that you have told and the insight that you have shared us regarding the education industry. That really means a lot. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks for having me, Sarthak. I'm happy if it could be of any use to anyone, even if one person benefits from this conversation. My day is
That's me.
made.
Okay, thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Thanks.